Formula One heads to Australia for the third Grand Prix of the year. In this video, we will look at the Australian Grand Prix circuit history, track layout, and the things to watch out for this weekend. Let's get started. Circuit overview. The Australian Grand Prix is one of the oldest motorsport events in the world. The first Grand Prix was held in 1928, even before there was Formula One. The Albert Park circuit in Melbourne has hosted the Australian Grand Prix every year since 1996. Prior to that, 23 other venues hosted the Grand Prix, most notably the Adelaide Street Circuit between 1985 and 1995. In 2020 and 2021, the race was cancelled due to the coronavirus pandemic. Ferrari has the most wins at this event with 13, followed by McLaren with 12. Among the active drivers, Lewis Hamilton is the only one to win it more than once. He won in 2008 and 2015. The track is 5.27 kilometers long and has a race distance of 306.1 kilometers. At present, there are 58 laps. The Albert Park circuit runs along the city streets of Melbourne, just 3 kilometers south of downtown. Last year, a few changes were made to the design of the circuit to make overtaking easier. 7 corners were widened by moving the curbs inward, and camber changes were given to turns 1, 3, and 6. These changes made the circuit 28 meters shorter and the corners faster. Notable races. The 1994 Australian Grand Prix, to this day, remains one of the most talked about and controversial Grand Prix of the past few decades. It was the last race of the season, and heading into the decider, Benetton's Michael Schumacher led Williams' Damon Hill by just 1 point. On lap 35, Schumacher and Hill collided, taking them both out of the race. This allowed Michael to claim the first of his 7 world championships that day. Another dramatic race took place 4 years ago. Home hero Daniel Ricciardo lost his front wing at the start. Valtteri Bottas, who drove for Mercedes at the time, enjoyed one of his most dramatic wins of his career. He overtook pole sitter and teammate Lewis Hamilton at the start. He then set the fastest lap and finished 20 seconds ahead of his teammate. Australian drivers. Australia has given the world some of the most successful F1 drivers throughout the years. This list includes 2 world champions, Jack Brabham and Alan Jones. In the past 15 years, Mark Webber and Daniel Ricciardo put Australia back on the map, winning a combined total of 17 Grand Prix. Webber retired from Formula One in 2013, and Ricciardo's contract with McLaren was not renewed after last season. This year, he joined Red Bull as a reserve driver. He was replaced at McLaren by Oscar Piastri, a rookie driver and a fellow Aussie and a native of Melbourne. Piastri was the 2021 F2 champion and made a lot of headlines last year after turning down a seat offer from Alpine, where he had been a reserve driver. Despite Australia's success in Formula One, no Aussie driver has ever won at home. Local fans will be hoping Piastri can turn it around this weekend. However, McLaren's start to the season has been less than stellar. The team currently is at the bottom of the standings with 0 points. Fans will be watching McLaren carefully to see if they can turn it around this weekend. What to watch for. Red Bull has been the team to beat this season, virtually having no competition. Australia also seems to favor Red Bull, and it'll be interesting to see if they can repeat their 1-2 performance in Albert Park. Likely the most entertaining thing about the Australian Grand Prix will be the battle between Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen for the top spot. Perez and Verstappen are neck and neck, with Verstappen just leading by 1 point in the World Championship. At the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Verstappen had issues with his car during qualifying. This forced him to start the race 15th, and he was unable to catch Perez for the win. It'll be interesting to see if Perez can take the fight to Verstappen if both cars do not have any issues. Aston Martin is one of the most talked about teams so far this season. From the bottom half last year, they have climbed to second in the standings. Newly recruited star Fernando Alonso has been impressive, scoring a podium finish in both races so far. It will be interesting to see if Aston Martin can continue their momentum. Mercedes aren't the dominant team they were during the turbo hybrid era, but their start to the season has been solid. Currently, they're tied with Aston Martin for second in the championship. Hamilton and Russell have finished the past 2 Grand Prix in the top 7. Mercedes have conceded since the start of the season that their car, and mainly their slim side pod design, needs some updates. The team is working aggressively to bring changes to the car. This week, technical director Mike Elliott said that they're continuing to look at ways to improve the W14, but did not give specific details as to what improvements they're bringing to Melbourne. Given their quality driver lineup and amazing management, Mercedes can never be counted out. They are definitely a team to watch for at this year's Australian Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc set the lap record last year at Albert Park and won the Grand Prix. Ferrari, however, hasn't enjoyed the same start to this season. A 4th place finish for Sainz and a retirement for Leclerc in Bahrain were followed by a 6th and 7th place finish in Jeddah. Ferrari are currently 4th in the constructors' standings with 26 points, 12 behind Mercedes. This week, team principal Fred Vasseur said, "We know we have to improve. We're not able to extract 100% of our car in every single session. We have to be focused on this before thinking about updates." Ferrari is a team with very high expectations, and it'll be interesting to see if they can turn their performance around in Albert Park. The pressure is definitely on them. Hope this video helped you get ready for the 2023 Australian Grand Prix. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video and consider subscribing to the channel for more great Formula One content.